Welcome to class, everyone. We're celebrate International Women's Day and as well as half moon pose. We've been workshopping that a bit. And my idea behind having that half moon pose is also that celebrating kind of the shadow side of things, the moon having this brightness and the shadow. And a lot of the work I think that women do can be in the backdrop and yet so forceful and so bright. And that's why I'm choosing to focus on that today as well. So let's briefly start in our seated position, whether that's cross-legged, kneeling, in a chair, wherever you want to be. As always, these are suggestions, so make this your practice. Take your fingertips beside you on the mat and just place the spider hands up so that you're pressing those fingertips into the mat. And then place a hand on your heart in front of that sternum. And feel the curve in your lower back, so a nice natural curve there. Close the eyes. We'll be moving around pretty soon, but let's use some yogic practice of witnessing to just go inward so we can close the eyes, cut out the distractions. Just appreciating the pose. Sorry, there's a bit of an interruption, but we'll keep going. I have a visitor at the door. Sorry. So let's take a pause and come back to that breath. Inhale and exhale. Just noticing the path of the breath. So we begin in that witnessing place, right? But then we can also just notice as we witness that we can affect the breath and bring it to a calmer place. Noticing the in-breath and the out-breath. So today I also want to celebrate that shadow side of the breath. So the shadow side of the breath being the pause after the inhale and the pause after the exhale. So as you take that inhale, notice the end of the inhale and then that scoop sort of feeling, that pause. And then the exhale out, noticing as you release all of that debris from your system, you reach another pause. And that hand on the heart and the hands on the floor, just another way to connect our rising up energy through our torso to the earth as well through those fingertips. So we've got nice contact point there as we follow the breath. That shadow side of the breath is worth taking a witnessing of because it has its own quality, right? And it's really that crest of the wave that guides us to the next step. Inhaling, noticing the pause, and exhaling, expelling all that air out. As we move through the practice, this will be our focus, just coming back to that. And then we'll let the eyes flutter open, take the hands beside you, and we'll transition to a standing position. So you can do that however is comfortable for you, just to warm ourselves up. Come to all fours if you'd like. And then just take those knees off the floor, keep the knees bent, hands on the floor since we're just warming up. Take a flat back, take the hands to the hips, and then hinge yourself up to standing. And there we are. So take yourself to the middle of the mat. And then we're going to take the feet hip width apart, continuing that calm path of breath. And let's look down at the feet and imagine being at the pool side and that your feet are wet and you want to make this just perfect footprint with all the toes defined. So see if you can do that and feel that rising up of the arch in the feet. And then inhale. Let's look up. So we're just noticing that stability we have through that large foundation of the feet. And then we want to bend the knees slightly and feel the quads engage. So start to engage those quads a little easier with the knees bent, and then begin to straighten the knees so that you can as you do that, you'll keep those quads lifted. So already you're fortifying, and then we want to take those glutes and engage them as well. And then point the tailbone down. Tuck the low ribs in, rising up past the shoulder blades, roll them down the back. Confident stand. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Feel taller already. Standing in confidence. I think that's International Women's Day, something we can all take forward with us, right? And now relax the stance, and we'll just take a nice warming twist. So you can separate the feet a little bit more, put a slight bend in the knees, and start to twist in either direction. This Tai Chi inspired twist. Allow the front hand to tap your shoulder and the back hand to tap your back. And again, noticing the pause in between our breath. So following the path of your breath as we turn on this vertical axis. And just continuing that awareness. Great. And then come back and just slow it down naturally. There we go. And now we're going to try just balancing here to start our practice to warm ourselves up, because we're going to do practice of balancing later, but let's see if we can warm our legs. So take that mountain stance, feet hip width apart, stand strong through your right foot, and we're just going to do that easy star pose. So arms up above you, so in that diagonal, take the weight off the left foot while keeping that foot active, lifting those quads on the right, reach out as you're expanding in those 4 directions and then through the crown of the head. Inhale, exhale, bring it down back to earth, bend the knees slightly, shift the weight over onto the left. Let your inhale float yourself up onto that other side. Exhale, come down, bring it together towards the center, that magnet into the center. Inhale up. So think of those forces of the moon and the earth that attract each other, come back into the center. And then again onto the left. And then down to the center again. Let's take a familiar balance because we've practiced this before. What I want you to do is just notice your breath, notice this balance as we begin practice to warm up. And then when we go to the other balances later, you can just notice the difference. So we're using this as our base test here. So let's take a tree pose because we're pretty familiar with that. Come on, bring the weight onto the left leg, engaging those quads, bend the right knee, and then turn it out to the side, kickstand your right foot so that you're curling the toes against that, and the heel is against the left ankle. So let's engage all of that energy to the middle, confidence. And then inhale, the arms above the head, branches, bring the hands into prayer position. And then with this solid center, we're going to bring that prayer position back down through past our third eye, past the mouth and the throat, and down to the heart. And feel free to creep that foot up the side of the left leg if you want. Take the hands in prayer position so we can really pull into that center as if there are magnets there. And you want to take that root of your pelvis and lift it up till you're a taller tree. Connecting with our trees on the planet, oxygenate, calm everything down, cool the fires that might be, oh, it's just too fiery these days. So let's cool it down and then come on back down to earth. Try it to the other side, bring the weight onto the right, kickstand that left foot against the right ankle. Inhale the arms, feel your side bodies grow long. Press the hands into prayer and just trace that line down your center and past the third eye, mouth, throat, heart. Hold into the center. If you want to bring your leg up, you can. And feel that base of the pelvis again, lifting up as if there's an elevator up through that center of the trunk. Feel that confidence from within. And then come on down. We're going to come to the bottom of the mat and take some stress release here by doing this chopping wood. So we're going to take our feet out a little bit wider than hip width, and we're going to sit back as we do a chop. So inhale, take the hands into prayer, and then you're going to look up as if there's that blade above you. Look up. Really grow long through the side bodies. And so I'll guide you first and just say, we're going to inhale, you're going to look up, and then you're going to exhale and bring that chop down through the knees and bend at the waist and stick your glutes way back. So inhale, look up, exhale, release and chop through the middle, and then come on back. One more time again, chop, release, inhale. Let's inhale, renew energy, exhale out what we don't need, what the earth doesn't need, all that stress, down. Stay down, bring your fingertips to the floor, come up to a flat back with your knees bent, scooch your feet a little closer together, hip width apart. We've got the thighs on the thighs and the ribs connected here. Inhale up into that flat back, noticing your nice length there. And then walk the hands out, and we'll just come back down. Little warmth built there. Come back down to our seated position. Just take some stability here, fingertips to the side. And then notice that tripod effect. Your anchor here is your sits bone and the fingertips, tendrils through the earth. Inhale and exhale. Feeling that axis, nice tall tree trunk rising up, but the roots are strong. Beautiful. Now we'll turn the chin over the right shoulder and then the left. Pausing at the end of your exhale as you turn. Then your inhale guides you back to center and turn again. Pause, exhale, pause, inhale, through center, exhale. Use that transition of breath to guide the transition of movement, coming back to center. Inhale, look up at the sky. Exhale, look down. And feel the stretch on the back of the neck as you tuck that chin towards the collarbones. Pressing through the fingertips. Inhale floats the head up. Exhale brings the right ear toward right shoulder. Another inhale brings the left ear up towards the sky. And exhale, dropping the ear toward right shoulder. Allowing more length in our neck. Freeing up more mobility. Take the right hand to the right ear, guide that head back up. Inhale, exhale to the other side, left ear toward left shoulder, pressing through the fingertips, feeling that connection all the way down the arm. Inhale, float the head back up, rising the arms up towards the sky, looking up at the hands. Imagine something beautiful coming towards you. And then look forward, bring the palms together and then the fingers clasped and then the palms up towards the sky. Notice that reach up to palms towards the sky allows even more length in the body as we sway side to side. Tree action here, swaying side to side. Inhale as you come up, gives you length. Exhale, brings you down. Nice. Remember that pause, the shadow side of the breath. And then lifting up, we'll take those hands, the clasped fingers, at the base of the skull. And then you've got that occipital ridge there, a lot of energy points there at the base of the skull. Just notice as you gently cup the bottom of the skull, that support you have. You can even just take a tiny millimeter of lift to the skull, allowing more length through the neck, and then the elbows out to the side. And then we're going to butterfly those elbows. So bring them together in front of the face as much as you can. Inhale, open up. Butterfly elbows. Take the pace of a butterfly on a leaf. Graceful. Exhale them together. And then as you inhale them out again, look up, lift the head or support the head as you look up and feel that heart brightly shining forward. And then exhale as you bring the elbows together. We're going to curl the spine along with that. So like a cat. And then inhale again. Invite the breath in, pause, and then exhale. Empty it out. Beautiful. And then stay here with that support and gently look side to side as you support the skull. Just allowing again another awareness of the top of the spine. All about bringing our awareness and bringing strength and stability through that awareness. Now come back and look center. Release the hands and we'll bring them down just below the heart, right palm on top of left, and then link your fingers. So this is the Ganesh mudra, and the elbows are out to the side. Just feel the engagement of the shoulders as you pull the hands away from each other. You've got this amazing engagement of the shoulders. And now with that linked hands, we're going to twist using our core strength to twist side to side. Great. And then let's switch the cross of the hands. So left on top of right. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, twist gently here. Ganesh is our elephant deity of the Hindu spirituality that clears the path. Let's hope we can get some clarity in our planet today to the path of peace. And let's take that prayer position at the heart, celebrating the warmth of our hearts, the nurturing energy. And then let's take the more playful position here of our Batman eyes. So we're going to take the index and the thumb into the OK sign here, and then turn the fingers upside down, and then bring those butterfly glasses up to the eyes. Nice fashion statement, just also, and then come out of it, and then twist the wrists and go back into it. Inhale as you come up. The glasses on, exhale, come down, and then up again. I've always wanted to buy butterfly glasses frames, but just never quite gone the distance to embrace them. Okay, let's just wring out those wrists like faucets in front of you. And then royal wave across the world there. Hallelujah. Let's hope we get some hallelujah news soon. Things going in the direction we want. Okay, come on down. And then we'll switch over to our all fours. And we're going to take our knees far apart, take the big toes together. You can place a blanket behind your knees if you need that, and slide the hips over to the heels and take the forehead down to the mat. Lengthen out the arms. You're draping the spine down and just feel that release. Connect with the breath here. Here, our spine is almost in that shape of a wave, so we can really match that shape with the breath. Feeling the crest of the wave of the breath, the inhale and the exhale here. Hips opening up here. Feel free to slide them side to side. Ball and socket, imagining the oil can, giving us nice oxygenation, liquid feeling there. Take the fingertips, walk them over to the right and the forehead as well. Notice that side ribs, the ribs on the left side opening up. Inhale yourself back to center and then walk it over to the left. Beautiful. And then walk back to center. Inhale yourself through a cat pose. Tuck the tailbone under, navel to the spine, brings you back up to all fours. And then find a neutral spine, reaching that spine in that horizontal plane. Walk the hands out and bring the hips forward into our knee plank. If that hurts your knees, you can just come up into a regular plank. Just hold that momentarily as we just take the shoulders away from the ears, tapping into that strength in the middle, and then sway back through a cat, back to child's. Touch down. Inhale, back up into cat. Slide the hips forward. Keep the gaze nice and easy. And then back again. Exhale, squeeze the air out, bringing that belly to the thighs. Just extra exhale there. Inhale back up through cat, noticing a new place in your spine every time you do this. Come on up to all fours. And then we're going to inhale. So I didn't mention it, but you can cushion your shins and your knees with a blanket and have your kneecaps just spilling over the edge of the blanket so you don't have to put any pressure there at all. Inhale the left knee forward, right foot in between the hands. Take the hands around that front foot and just pull backward toward the bottom of the mat, and notice maybe that plugs in the right hip a little bit more in our low lunge. Your connection here is that back shin and the front foot, pulling into that center. Beautiful. Now take your right hand on the inside of the right foot, dropping into that right hip. You can put the foot over towards the right a little more into our lizard pose here. So just feeling the drop of the hips as you pull the hands back and connect with that back shin. Don't push the knee into the mat, just the shin. Just the shin resting on the mat. Feel the opening of the hip here. Might help us open up a little more in our standing poses. Nice long spine. And then take the hands around that front foot and we'll take it back. Other side. Inhale the right knee to the front. Plant that foot down, spread the toes. Pull back with your hands. Right shin, front foot, left foot connect like magnets. Drop into your left hip. Might want to ride up. So let's see if you can imagine a weight in that right hip. Notice your breath as we come into this flexion here in the hips. Maybe there's some resistance. Finding some shadow places in our connections in the body. And then take the hands on the inside of the left foot. And keep that knee aligned with the toes. Now we're more of in a lizard pose here. So we're pulling back with the hands, just dropping more into that left hip, increasing the stretch a little more. Using gravity to our advantage. And then take the hands around that front foot again and sweep the knee back. Take the knees wider apart, big toes together, slide the hips back. Again, if you need to adapt this, just take that blanket or just lie on your back, curl into your back, whatever you need to do. Forehead to the mat. Connect to the breath. Inhale. Allow the inhale to sweep up over the back. Crest the wave. Exhale. Allow the thighs to contact with the belly and just help that expelling out of what you don't need. Take a moment here to notice your breath and hear the sound of it in silence. Beautiful. Now curl up into cat. And bring those knees back, hip width apart. And we're going to bring that right foot forward again. Support yourself with your hands and gently inch that shin back in the back a little more, so that we're going to come into a more extended crescent moon pose. Keeping that thigh down, keeping the shin down in the back there. Pull the fingertips towards the back of the mat and inhale. Begin to lift the ribs off the thigh. Take the hands to the front thigh and you're aligning the knee with the two middle toes. Curl up and feel your right hip drop closer to the earth. And then inhale the arms above the head, prayer position up high. Shoulders away from the ears on the exhale. If you can, look up towards the moon. And then sweep yourself swan dive down around the front foot. Ease that foot back and we'll switch our flow to the other side. Inhale, left knee forward, plant the left foot. Again, that base behind you is the shin, not the knee. Pull the hands towards the back. And then curl yourself up into vertical, hands at the front thigh, finding your center. Top of the foot in the back there, presses into the mat. Inhale the arms above the head. And gently look up if that's possible. Feel the length on the right side, luxuriate in that. Exhale, swan dive, front foot, hands down. Beautiful. Bring it back. And then we'll take ourselves into knee plank. Hips forward. Bend the elbows and just guide yourself down as you bend the elbows. Guide the thighs down to the mat, the pelvis, and the ribs. And then make a pillow for your head with your hands and the forehead down. Prostrate here, just kind of getting a nice length in the body. Again, 3 breaths. That sense of nurturing ourselves through the breath. Beautiful. And then take the hands to beside the shoulders, forehead down, pull back with your hands towards those back feet as you press the toes into the mat, tops of the toes, and then pull back as you curl up into a baby cobra. And this is allowing the spine even more length, pointing the tailbone towards the heels. And guide yourself down, forehead down. And then push back to all fours. Grab a block if you have one. If not, that's okay. You can still do the practice. We're just going to use this to tap into that center, that bandha in the root of the pelvis and also the inner thighs. So let's take that block and place it between the thighs and then come to all fours. And we're going to use that nice gentle press inward as we come up into a down dog. So you can find your way to all fours, wrist below shoulders, curl the toes under and lift the knees off the mat. Squeeze that block as you come up to, you can keep the knees bent as you bring the ribs to the thighs. Lengthen the spine in that diagonal. And see if you can slowly exhale those heels down to the floor. And then come up into tiptoes again. And guide the heels down. They don't have to touch the floor. Just noticing resistances, noticing any striving, just kind of accepting where we are. That's fine. Press away from the hands. Exhale. And then bend the knees. Walk the hands to the feet while squeezing that block. Hang the head down. You can straighten out your legs if that's comfortable for you, or just keep the knees bent, soft. Just be super soft here. Head hanging down. Take the thumbs to the elbow creases. Oh, even more lengthening through the torso here. Beautiful. Squeezing the block. Bring the fingertips to the mat. Bend the knees and let's bring the spine to a horizontal. Inhale, flat back. And then take the hands to the hips and ease on up with a nice long flat back. Up to standing. Squeeze the block for another tapping into that center. And then remove the block. We're just kind of protecting the lower back when we have that block there. Great. Now come to the middle of the mat and then take the wide stance here. So let's take some warrior, peaceful warrior, just because, hey, we need more peaceful warriors, right? So let's take the feet into our prep for warrior, proud warrior. So right toes to the side and back, front heel lined with back arch. Hands on the hips, we have them we're not going to force them into this orientation to the front, just guide them that general direction. Inhale, grow tall out of that base of the pelvis. Exhale, bend the right knee towards the middle two toes. So as you do this, imagine a weight in that right hip and see how much you can bring your right thigh into that parallel with the floor. That's a challenge. Align that knee, both sides of your quads, keeping that strong. And then you'll guide that back foot as your adjustment into this warrior stance. Now that we're here, just explore that connection between the two feet. Magnetized, connecting, pressing through the full surface of the foot. And then inhale the arms out nice and long. Beautiful. Get some length here. Exhale, look over the right fingertips. And then let's feel that direction and determination moving forward, as well as that connection with that back hand to what's behind you. Not forgetting that shadow side, right? Just like in the moon. And drop the left fingertips towards the back thigh. Right palm up towards the sky. Inhale, sweep that right arm up to the sky towards the stars. Drop that shoulder away from the ears and just guide yourself. Drop the left fingertips down the leg in the back. Peaceful warrior, opening up that right rib cage. Length in the front on the right side. And then sweep the arms down. And then straighten the right leg, come to the other side. Left toes are guide this time. Find that alignment, hips forward. Inhale, grow tall, exhale, bend that left knee. Check your alignment, use your gaze to look down, making sure you stay behind the two toes. And then see if you can drop a weight into that left hip and challenge yourself a little more, perhaps getting that strength built in the left thigh. And then find your feet again, bring them together energetically. Inhale the arms long into T, taking ourselves in different directions. Exhale, look over the left fingertips. What's in front of us, what's behind, what's in the light, what's in the shadow. And let's drop the right fingertips down towards the back thigh. Left palm up towards the sky. Then look up, send it up to the stars. Whatever you're wishing, we need in our world. Look up. Then sweep down, back to proud warrior. And then straighten the left leg. Come on back to face forward. We'll take a nice forward bend here before we go into half moon. Inhale, Rise up, exhale, hinging at the hip, keeping the hands on the thighs. Just stay in that flat back here. And lengthen away from those sits bones. Take the fingertips to the floor. So we're just coming into a flat back here momentarily. Inhale. Exhale. Let's come on up. Use your inhale to float yourself back up. Now we're going to use that same power of the pose to transition into balance, into our half moon. I have a chair here just as a demo. If you want to use that, just to give yourself permission to use whatever support you need to get into half moon. See about celebrating a little step further, perhaps, or just that energy of confidence as we come onto our single foot, right? So inhale, same path we took. Exhale gracefully into our warrior stance. And from here, we're going to take that right arm and point towards the top of the mat. Look down the right arm. And keep the feet connected, the knee aligned. And then bring your gaze forward. And then you can change it back, looking down the hand towards the right hand, and then forward again. Let's see if we can keep that gaze forward this time as we transition towards a half moon. Okay, begin to tiptoe the left toes towards the right as you try to straighten that right leg, stacking our hips on top of each other, right? So this is challenging even to just get here. So keep the gaze steady on some distant point and see about letting go of that left weight. Again, hold on to that chair if you need to. Keep the left hand on that hip so you can get that sense of open hips forward, really pressing through that lifted foot. Keep it very lively. And then slightly bend the right knee as we transition back. We'll come back to this, back to our warrior. Switch to the other side. If you need to switch your balance prop, go for it. Inhale, exhale into our warrior prep. Take the left hand, bring the gaze towards those toes, making sure everything's aligned. Bring the gaze forward and then down and then forward. Keep it forward on a still point. Tiptoe the right toes towards the left, straighten the right left leg. Fly up here, let go of the right side, pressing into an imaginary surface, hinging at the left hip. Maybe you feel more confident than last time. Maybe it's just a wobbly day, and that's okay too. And let's bend the knee and come back again. We'll try the other side. And this time, we'll try opening up the arms, right? And so we really open up to the front. Take that warrior, exhale, bend the knee. And this time we can transition with bringing the gaze forward, tiptoe forward, reach for the chair, keep the hand on the hip on the left side, and then lift the left arm up towards the sky. See if you can feel a sense of length, even as you hold on to the chair, a sense of length along the collarbones. Sense of flying. Feel that strong right foot. Just practice and practice. There is no perfect, it's just practice. Hand to the hip, bring the gaze down, bend the knee, ease yourself down. Other side. This is one of the most challenging single leg balances there is, so congratulations for trying it. Again, if you want to go into that starfish, you can do that as well as we did earlier. Bend the left knee. Guide your gaze forward. And then find the balance. Straight left leg. This time, as you let go and hinge to the side, see if you can open up the right arm to the sky. Nice. Good. Checking in with the breath. Beautiful. Reaching and flying. Look down, bend that left knee. Come on down. Heel toe yourself into center and just shake out the legs. Nice. Excellent effort there. Let's come into tree just because it's nice and familiar. See how it feels from the beginning. Shaking everything out. Take the right knee up, out to the side, kickstand, and this time walk or just slide that right leg up the left. See if you can grab the ankle on the right side and guide the foot up. If not, just keep it kickstand and find your center. If you bring that foot up, allow the inner thigh and the foot to connect into the center. Hands to the heart. Every tree is going to be different, right? Find something new here, whether it's pointing the tailbone, you can fall out of it, whatever you need to do. Reach the arms up, branches. See if you can sway it a bit. Yes. Bring that signature, your signature to tree. Prayer position, tracing down the center. And let's let it down to the right side. Flow into it. Take our left knee, open it out, kickstand. Slide the foot up the leg. Maybe grab that ankle and press in. As you press the foot into the thigh, you're optimizing that, balancing into our core. Elevator up the middle there. Hands in prayer, or just challenge yourself to higher. Reaching. Closing the eyes if you want. Really, all the challenges, closing one eye. Beautiful. Come back to prayer. And ease it down. Shake it out. Walk to the bottom of the mat. Move the props aside. Inhale. Look up at the sky. Exhale. Trace the line down the center. Let's pause with the breath here. Exhale. Inhale. Pause by looking up at the hands. Exhale, trace it down the center. And then we'll hinge at the hips, drawing that imaginary block in between the thighs. Coming down to the mat. Hands down, fingertips, spider hands. Hang the head. Allow the spine to drape down. And bend the knees. Walk the hands out to the edge of the mat. So we're in a downward dog again. Maybe the hamstrings feel a little looser this time. Maybe the spine's a little bit longer. Remember that pool footprint. Let's make that happen again. Transforming our shape. And hopefully transforming our mindset. Bring the knees back down to the mat. And then flip over onto the back. Get some core strengthening here through our bridging. So take the feet to the mat. Hip width apart. Find the back of your heels with your fingertips. Draw the shoulders towards the earth. Sternum up towards the sky. And feel that brightness looking up through the heart, and yet the back of the heart supported. Press through the feet, lift the hips up towards the sky as you press through the arms. And then bring the hands together, clasp the fingers again like we were earlier. This time pressing the length of the arms into the mat. And notice as you press the arms into the mat, you can inhale the sternum towards the chin. Notice your breath here. different shape. And then release the hands, snake the spine back down. And then using the full length of the arms as your leverage, inhale the hips up towards the sky. Now, if you could keep those even hips and just take that right leg and straighten it out. Really have to get that core and glute action on the left side activated. Exhale, bring the foot down. Right side strong as you straighten the left leg. Alternate with your inhale and your exhale, right to left. Keeping our own internal stability even as we kind of test the edges here. One more time, right and left. We'll lift the hips up and then snake it back, bone by bone, back down to the mat. Sacrum finds that anchor on the mat. Inhale the right knee towards the chest. And then we'll take our right ankle to the left thigh. Take the right hand to the right thigh, press into the thigh so it plugs into that hip socket, and then press the thigh into the hand. And then release. So you've gotten more open on that right hip. Now reach to the back of the left thigh, figure 4. Keeping the right foot active. Drop into that right hip again. And then lift the left leg up towards the sky, hamstring. Walk your hands down that left thigh and press the thigh into the hands and the hands into the thigh. Find a nice even sacrum on the mat. Release your hands and see if you can just hold that leg up high. Nice strong base. Bend the left knee, foot to the floor. Oh, a nice open right hip here, and release. Inhale the left knee towards the chest. Exhale the left ankle to the right thigh. Take the left hand to the left thigh. Press into the thigh, thigh into the hand. There's subtle movements here that get into those details of opening up just softening the joints, plugging things in, and release. Reach for the back of the right thigh, keeping everything super awake at the edges, so those feet active. Take the sole of the right foot to the sky. Walk the hands down the thigh and take that counter pressure. So thigh into your hands, hands into the thigh. Figure 4. And then release, bend. Oh, you can release the hands. See if you can hold that. Beautiful. And then bend the knee. Right foot comes down, unwind the legs. Let's do a nice long stretch, arms next to the ears, legs straightened out. Point the toes, flex, point and flex. And then we'll come back to the feet on the floor, sweep the arms next to the body, the knees close together. Feet hip width a little wider than hip width. Take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. A nice celebratory inhale and exhale here. Imagine gazing at the moon, which has such a perfect light about it, not too bright, not too dim. And then we'll begin to the windshield wiper, those legs, knees towards the feet. So right knee towards left foot and back up, left knee towards right foot. Thumbs to elbow creases, elbows side to side, a wonderful everyday stretch here. Uniting our opposing directions. Head goes side to side with the knees. And then the eyes follow the elbows. And then slow that down, sweep the arms next to the body. And we're going to take those knees together and the arms out into a T. So arms long into a T, just like we were opening into that wingspan earlier. Lift the sternum up and then place that back of the heart onto the mat. Align the skull and the sacrum. So we're just getting everything aligned as we tap into our nice strength on the lower abs and lift the feet off the mat. See if you can lift those shins into tabletop and just hold this nice stability here. Nice core stability. And then bring the feet down. And keeping that stability, lift the feet up off the mat, whatever distance you want. Doesn't strain your back, just test the core strength of the abdominals. And then we're going to take our knees over towards the left and just roll the pelvis over towards the left side, keeping the knees together. Notice that the right shoulder is going to come off the mat. And then we can close the palms together, one arm on top of the other into our twist. Inhale, trace an arc above you with the right arm. Reach out into that length and then lift the knees off the mat. Keep them together. Back through center. Exhale over to the other side, keeping the core stable, lifting the right shoulder, left shoulder comes up, and then the left meets the right. Inhale back, open it up again, arc rainbow above the head with the left fingertips. Come back up and sweep to the other side around the axis of the spine. Back and forth. Twist. Notice as you finish the twist, the pause that matches your breath. One more rotation on each side. And then come out into your backs and take the feet to the floor. Just arms next to your side. Close the eyes just as we celebrate this International Women's Day and all of the effort of women around the world, celebrating self-knowledge and confidence to support each other, to support our entire human race and this planet. So our sense of self-knowledge, let's have our tour of the body, just an internal tour right now, noticing if there's areas of tension in your body that are lingering, something you need, a movement you need to make or a pose you need to take, happy baby, go into another child's, whatever you need to do. We could take a moment here to Just celebrate that individuality of the body and what it needs right now. So take whatever pose is comfortable for you for a few minutes. If you have want an idea, you can always bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out in butterfly into our Baddha Konasana. But try to respond to whatever your body needs. Whatever pose you've chosen, spend a few rotations of breath here. Then come out of that pose and give ourselves a much deserved spa 5 minutes here, taking the right leg out long, the left leg out long, holding the sides of the mat with your hands, pull down towards the bottom of the mat, slide the skin of those shoulder blades down the mat, opening your heart even more, palms face the sky, and feel yourself settle into the mat. If you have lingering areas of tension, send that inhale in that direction, intention for releasing it on the exhale. Close the eyes. Find a nice still point, comfortable position. Finding the path to your breath again. As you focus on the breath, send that breath into the back of the body and release any tension. To the right side of the body and release that tension. To the left side of the body. Release on the exhale. And to the front of the body. The next 3 breaths, dedicate to the whole body. The whole body. The whole body. The next breath to your mind. And the following breath to your spirit. And the following breath to synthesize mind, body, and spirit into harmony. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Bend the elbows and the knees. As you exhale, roll over onto your right side, away from the heart. Celebratory breath here. And then allow yourself to come up to a seated position, supported by your hands. knowing you've made positive change in your body today. Taking the hands to the heart, Anjali Mudra in front of the heart. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. Namaste. Thank you, guys.